doing my camera? I'm not getting the right camera. Let me see. I know you guys are here. Just give me a something. Hold on. Hold 1 second, guys. Good morning. Webcam manage. Check. Okay, well, let's try one more thing here. I'm sorry. I set up my new camera, all set up, and now we're on this camera. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, this is not working. Okay. Hold on, because it wouldn't be the end of 2020 if my tech didn't work properly. Or if it worked properly. It would be like, wait, what's going on? Everything's working. This can't be 2020. So this will be one of those classes that does not get printed on. Oh, good gravy. It's good to see you guys. Happy end to 2020. I'm not saying Happy New Year. No, well, it's been an interesting year. But like I said during the meditation class this morning, this has been come to the back of your mat. Come to the back of your mat. This has been another one of those years, and there's been a few of these years lately. And the first, I was telling Soul Man last night that I'm not one of those give the year a few, big middle fingers and goodbye, because I learned that a few years ago when I was like giving the big FU to one of the years past and then the last few years. The next year was like, are you kidding me? Walk your hands down your legs and take your palms to the bottom of your shins. So you're holding your ankles with your thumbs on the inside and the fingers wrapped to the outside, but you're actually above the ankle bones, right at the shins. And then bend your knees enough so you can flatten out your back, especially tipping the sit bones up, right? And pulling the rib cage forward and down. And now engage, if you haven't already, your navel towards your spine. And lengthen through the top crown of your head. Now, yep, this is a lot. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and breathe. Yeah, so I learned that, and then the next year was another at the end of that year when I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, "Okay, I'm going to be real polite about this year and say goodbye and thank you for all that I've learned. Stay here, you've got this. Keep pushing your feet into the floor. Knees are slightly bent. Rib cage is flexing down towards the thighs. Sit bones are lifting up behind you. So there's an anterior tilt of your pelvis here." So then the end of last year came. Now start to walk your hands out onto your mat. Keep your knees bent and try to keep the soles of your feet on your mat. So you're crawling out, soles of your feet on your mat. Knees are slightly bent. And then when you can't keep the heels down any further, like when you get your hands out and you can't keep your heels down, pause here. Okay, so your heels are down, knees are bent. Hands are on your mat. Head is lifted above the arms. You don't have to have it ears at the upper arms. So you can do it wherever you like here. And so I politely say goodbye to last year, and then we got this year. So you just have to be polite with Father Time and say thank you for all that I've learned. Thanks for the experiences. And I'm moving into the next moment. And stay here breathing, pushing your mat away, heels push towards the floor, knees are bent as much as you need to facilitate soles of your feet on the mat. Okay, now align your head between your upper arms so your ears are about upper arm height, and slowly lift just the heels away from your mat so that they're above the widest part of your feet. By the way, big toes are touching here if they're not already. Okay, now your heels are up over the widest part of your feet. Your toes are really flexed here. Good. And now we're going to rock the shoulders forward and drop your knees down to your mat. And you are on hands and knees with the toes curled under. Send your seat back towards your heels. So this is a shortened child's pose, and stretch for the soles of your feet for the plantar fascia. Yeah, one of those years where I was like, oh God, goodbye year. I had plantar fasciitis for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. It was terrible. Um, breathe in here and out. So if you ever have any problems with that, give me a call and I will help you with the quickest ways to let it subside. A lot of times it is, though, stress. Walk your hands forward now, wrists just in front of the shoulders. Uncurl your toes and let's pat out the top of your feet. Yeah, so pat out the top of your feet. Good. And now prepare to come into downward facing dog. So curl those toes back under, lift your hips up, and move into down dog. Now, for your first down dog, your heels are probably lifted away from the mat. If they're not, that's fine. But I'd like you to walk your feet to the left and right edges of your mat. And by that, I mean the left foot to the left edge, not to the right edge, the right foot to the right edge. And then push the mat away some more so the sit bones lift higher. You get a little more stretch through the shoulder girdle as well. You can drop into those shoulder girdles just for this stretch here. And now walk your feet back to hip distance as you would for your regular stance in down dog, your personal stance. Good. And then bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward. And let's walk, step, or hop to the front of your mat. Breathing in when you arrive, lift halfway up. Create that long spine again that we just did before. And as you exhale, fold forward over your legs. Come into ragdoll here. Grab either elbow with opposite hand. You are where you are, and it is what it is, and you get what you get. Used to couldn't stand when I would do this after school program, and the teachers would say, "You get what you get, and you don't get upset." Switch the cross of your forearms so the other one's in front. And while that is relatively simple thing to tell ourselves and to tell children, release your hands towards the floor, drop the sit bones down, and roll yourself up to stand. You can get upset. You can feel upset would be a better idea, and then get on with it, right? Come into Tadasana mountain pose, right? You get what you get, you feel upset, and then you get on with it. Because staying and becoming an upset person, right? Staying in that place and letting all of your cells become upset things instead of feeling this and experiencing it and letting it move through your body is really hard on your nervous system. Inhale, lift your arms up to frame your head, not to mention your life. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step to plank pose. Take a full breath here in plank pose. And as you exhale, drop your knees and then the rest of your torso down. Fold your elbows straight back. Point your toes. Inhale, let's lift into cobra pose. And exhale, forehead back to the mat. All right, curl the toes under. Good. Lift your knees off the mat so you're nice and strong through your thighs. Walk your hands out and forward a little bit. So out and forward for push-up position. You can keep your knees on the mat or push up Yeah, so wide arms, not a chaturanga push-up. All right, we're doing 10 push-ups today. And if you would like to do either chaturanga push-ups, or if you've already started, Danielle, that's okay, or you'd like to have your knees down, then you can do that with your knees down. Here we go. Ready? And 1, 2, keep the abs strong. 3, 4, 5, 6. You got this. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Walk your hips up and back, downward facing dog. You can move your hands in towards each other to adjust them to shoulder distance. Beautifully done, you guys. Let's lift that right foot up into the air. And as you exhale, take your knee towards your chest and then lightly step your right foot up between your hands. Lower your left knee down to your mat. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, lift your right arm up into the air. Good. Stay here as you exhale. Squeeze your navel around to the right. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can drop your hips a little bit more forward. Squeeze the navel to the right. Good. Now you're going to lower your right hand down to the mat. Take the right thumb on top of the left. Lift both arms up to frame your head. And as you exhale, release your hips forward and down. Good. Full breath in here. And on your exhale, let's take the hands down to the mat. Guide your left sit bone towards the left heel and straighten that front knee. Breathe in here. And exhale, tilt the pelvis forward. You don't have to come to a deep forward fold here, just a little bit so that you're feeling the sensation in the back of that front leg, the right leg here. Good. Next time you're breathing in, press into your hands to move forward into low lunge. And then let's rotate that left heel down. We're going to come into warrior 2. So go ahead and reverse cartwheel up into Virabhadrasana 2. Soften your gaze out over your right fingertips. Turn your right palm up. Inhale, reach back and over, reverse. And as you exhale, take your right forearm to your thigh and your left arm forward alongside your ear. Okay, now let's do a little bit of a release for the neck. So look up towards your left thumb and then slowly watch your head turn in the direction of your forearm, your elbow, your upper arm, and then point your nose towards your armpit. Hope it smells good. Inhale, come back up to warrior 2. And as you exhale, cartwheel your hands back down to the floor. Lift your back heel, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's take it into plank pose. Exhale, with or without the knees to Chaturanga Dandasana. So elbows lower about halfway down. And then inhale, lift into upward facing dog. Press into the tops of your feet. And exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Let's move to the other side. Breathe in, lift your left foot into the air. And as you exhale, draw your knee forward first, and then lightly step that left foot up between your hands. Lower your right knee down. Inhale, lift your left arm up to frame your head. Stay here as you exhale. Squeeze that navel around to the left. Good. See if you can drop the hips a little bit further forward. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now you'll lower that left hand down. Take the left thumb on top as you lift your arms up, hooking the thumbs, breathing in. Exhale, release hips forward and down. Now you're getting a stretch to that right hip flexor, the back leg. Breathing in and out. And now lower your hands down to the floor and let them assist you towards guiding that right sit bone towards your right heel. Good. Now your left knee is extended. And you'll tilt the pelvis forward until you start to approach that sensation of stretch in the back of your left leg, that front leg. And just hold it there. Right when you approach that sensation, that's enough. Pause there. Good. All right, and then push into your hands to move back towards low lunge. Back knee lifts. Rotate the right heel down to your mat, and we prepare to set up for warrior two again on the left side. Come on up. Soften your gaze out over your left fingertips. Turn that left palm up. Inhale, reach back and over, reverse. And exhale, let's take it into this variation of side angle. Left forearm to thigh, right arm alongside your ear. Look towards that right thumb. Breathe in. And as you exhale, watch your gaze move to your forearm. Turn your head towards your elbow, upper arm, and then nose towards the armpit. Little release through the back of the neck. Good. And on your next breath in, come back up to warrior two. As you exhale, cartwheel your hands back down to frame that front foot and move to downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and out, and then we'll do one more vinyasa here. Inhale forward to plank pose. Exhale to chaturanga. Firm abdominal wall. Inhale, lift into upward dog. Press into the fingertips and strengthen those thighs. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right, so experience what you get. Feel how your body reacts to it. And watch that feeling slide away. And inevitably, another one will replace it. There is nothing static about our lives, our feelings, our emotions, unless we choose for that to be. Good. Let's take the knees down to your mat. Good. Keep your toes curled under. Sit back towards your heels. Okay, just briefly here. I'm not going to torture you this morning on the last day of the year. Your heels are above the widest part of your feet. Toes are curled under and you're sitting on them. Okay. This is a really great stretch to do for your plantar fascia. And it can feel torturous at times. So we won't stay here. Let's lift up. Keep the toes curled under, right? Take your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers and press the knuckles towards the floor. Let the front of your chest lift. Lift your chin. Let the pelvis tilt, not tilt, but press forward. So it's over the knees. And you might find it possible to bring your hands to your heels, coming into this version of Ustrasana, camel pose. So let's let the pelvis press forward, the chest and rib cage lift, lengthen through the top crown of your head, and continue to breathe. You can also squeeze the shoulder blades closer together. One more breath in here. And out. Good. On your inhale, let's come back upright. Good. Uncurl the toes and move your seat towards your heels. Lower down to child's pose with your arms and next to your legs and your forehead to the floor. And breathe into your back body. Good. All right, now walk your hands forward towards the head. Good. Sit up a little bit. And let's go ahead and come over onto, just roll over onto your rear end. Walk the feet forward and lean back like you're sitting on the beach. And we'll just pretend we're on the beach because some of us are in some pretty cold weather right now. Hug that right knee in towards your body. Yeah. And then take the right ankle over the left thigh and let your right knee come out to the side. Okay. Now, this is a really great way to get that outer hip stretch without moving into it too abruptly. So you can be here leaning back and then let your chest move towards your thighs, and that will change the sensation, right? You can lean back again and then walk that left foot towards your left sit bone and press the torso towards the thighs, and that will change the sensation as well. Okay, and the right foot, the foot of the leg that's crossed over, that one is gently flexed at the ankle. And keep lengthening up through the top crown of your head. I have a tendency to lock my elbows, so I'm going to bend them a little bit. Okay, and we'll just stay here for one more breath. Great, and then lean back to release. Walk that other foot forward, and then uncross. Good. Now let's walk the feet a little bit. Hug the left knee in to the thigh first before you take that external rotation. So the thigh comes in towards the body, then goes out to the side, knee goes out to the side as you cross that left ankle over. Right. So bringing that in before you do that external rotation is a little bit nicer for your hip socket. Okay, so left foot gently flex at the ankle. We start here, and then you can either simply bring yourself closer to your thighs by pushing into the hands, or do a little bit of both. Walk that right foot towards the right sit bone, and then press yourself towards the thighs. Could watch you're not locking the elbows if you do that like I do. And breathe. And you get that nice, beautiful, and delicious stretch in the left hip. This is just another way to get a nice outer hip stretch and not do it um, with the potential of over stretching around the joints, which can happen with misalignment in pigeon pose. Good. Just another breath here. Nice. And then to release, you lean back, walk the other foot forward, uncross, and place that foot down next to the other one. Let's straighten both knees out. Okay. Sit up and stretch your legs away from each other. So make a nice V. Okay. And flex your feet at the ankles here. Sit up as tall as you can. Press down from the tops of your thighs towards the floor and project out through the soles of your feet. Let your hands rest on the shins. Breathe in here. And as you exhale, tilt your pelvis forward. Approach the sensation, the stretch between the legs, the inner thighs. Really keep pressing out through the soles of your feet. Fold as far forward as you can, and then bring your hands forward in front of your face. Maybe once you get as far as you can, you let your head hang down to your stacked hands, resting your forehead on the backs of your hands. I have to say that, go ahead and sit back up. I can not remember a New Year's Eve where I did not have an anticipation of the celebration or the dinner or the being with friends and family um, that was coming throughout the day and at the end of the day. Bring your legs together. And so you're on your mat. Let your heels separate to be about just inside the long edges of your mat. Reach your arms forward, palms face up. Breathe in here. Flex your feet at the ankles. Push the feet down towards the floor, the heels towards the floor, and slowly roll yourself down onto your back. And let your arms rest by your sides. Let your feet flop open. Let your body be received by your floor and the earth. just for 1 minute. It is time well spent. Good. Before you get up, place your left hand on your stomach. Don't move your upper arm. And then bend your right elbow and move your right hand towards your chest. You feel the breath already beginning to move a little more rapidly or deeply as you shift. It is time well spent. And it is simply another day that folds into another day. It is not the end or the beginning, but it is your living that matters. Your being here. And the time that we've spent together. Stretch your arms up overhead, flex your feet, and stretch your body. Hug your knees into your chest. Please rock yourself up to sit. Good. And let your hands rest on your thighs or knees. The time that we have spent together, thank you so much for it. And I look forward to spending more together virtually and in real life, as the kids say, IRL. Have a beautiful end to 2020. I hope that it is healthy and happy, and I look forward to seeing you every day. I'll see you soon. Take care.